but apparently there is a country music festival going on, headlined by Kid Rock. And those of you all that know of Kid Rock was one of the few people accepted or are deemed as acceptable in the black household, along with NSYNC and maybe Christina Aguilera and different ones like that who are not truly of color. You can say Christina Aguilera because she's Latina, but when I say of color, y'all know what I mean. I mean black. And there are certain people that I believe Bobby Caldwell is one of them as well, but that's because he tricked us all. Um, but when I say that, those that grew up in a black household, like, or those that were in black circles in when you went to school or whatever the case was, you understood that there were certain people that were deemed as okay to listen to. Like, there was not a question, a second guess on, oh, you listening to them? You think about it, Justin Bieber is one of those people, right? Granted, he makes R&B music, but he's one of those people. There's always a rapper or two, right? Mac Miller, Eminem, Jack Harlow for the brief time that he was kind of really rocking with us. And then when you get to the pop side, there are a few people that it's okay to listen to. While I'm not the greatest fan, my daughter loves Taylor Swift, and I believe that she is considered appropriate, or maybe you wouldn't get looked at or frowned upon if you were caught listening to her. This is the biggest pop artist in the world currently, right? It is Tay-Tay. She even jazzed it up for you guys. But when we talk about people, Kid Rock was one of those people. And if you listen to music or you have your face in music, maybe this has a lot to do with me being from Oklahoma too, right? Tim McGraw is fine to listen to, different Jason Aldean. Like, these are country artists that, because we're from here, and I'm not a fan of country music, but these are people who, oh, you listening to them? Okay, Kane Brown, right? He has the look. If you know what I'm talking about, Kane Brown has the look. So he's okay to listen to. Look, I'd even go as far as to say, don't kill me for this, but Morgan Wallen. I know what he did. I know what he said. I get it. But his music bangs. And he wasn't talking to me. So with that being said, okay, there are few people that are deemed appropriate or okay, or you won't be outcasted for listening to them. And when I was growing up, and Kid Rock was one of these. So apparently there's a festival that he has been a part. I don't know if it's actually his festival, but it is a festival that he's throwing and that he's been working very close to. But yo, Jay, go look. If you don't know who Kane Brown is, hey, if you don't know who Kane Brown is, go and just Google him. You know what? I'm going to do it now. I'm going to do it now. For those that don't know, give me a second. I'm about to do it right now. Because for those that don't know, Kane Brown, okay? He has the look. Okay? This is Mr. Kane Brown. Okay, let me all right. So we're gonna do this one here. All right, check this out. Oh no, I don't want it like that. I don't want it like that. I'll do it like this. Is that it? What we got? Yeah, there we go. All right, so okay. Anyways, we back in here. So, Mr. Kane Brown, he has the look. Am I lying? Tell me. You understand? Right. Okay. So you get it. So if you were to listen to a Kane Brown, okay, it would be deemed appropriate, right? And actually, he's an athlete too, Mr. Kane Brown is. I watched him play in the flag football game for the I watched him for the oh dang, I can't do it, huh? There we go. I watched him play in the flag football game for the NFL, showing up and all of that, and that was pretty dope. He like I said, he is an athlete. But I want to know something. Let me see. I just want to know. Do y'all know what I'm about to ask? All I put in. Look at this. All I put in is Kane, and they already knew what I was about to ask. So it's the first thing that came up. So Mr. Kane Brown. Yes. Okay. So this is again, Mr. Kane Brown is appropriate. Okay. But at one point in time, so was Kid Rock. So he has been someone that Black people have constantly paid attention to, and someone that that I have I ain't really just went out and listened to his music, but I'm like, oh, it's Kid Rock. Hey, big Kid Rock, you won something. Hey, good job, kid. Good job, Mr. Rock. So with that being said, there is a festival that he's throwing where he had a lot of people, Ludacris at one time. And there are a lot of people pulling out of it due to the fact of what it looks like, how people are taking it, kind of what it's representing and what it's being tied to. This country music festival, and I know that my camera went off, but I will make sure to put that back on in just a second. But can y'all hear me? Yeah, y'all can hear me, right? Okay. While I do this. Oh, y'all give me a second. Don't run off. Give me a second, y'all. I'm still here. Give me a second. So I had a theory Kane Brown was Black, but I didn't want to actually say it because you could be wrong. I mean, you know, people fool people. Sometimes it just they know how to trick folks. So I wanted to take the safe bet, but I did have a theory when it came to Mr. Kane Brown. But again, Kid Rock, as I stated, is one of those people that was appropriate. So anyways, there is a festival that he's throwing. Let me see if I can find that festival too. Let me see if I can find it. Kid Rock Festival. Okay. So, yeah. So Kid Rock's the country festival. Apparently in South Carolina, they've actually canceled the show because so many people have actually pulled out. Now, the reason why they're saying that they're pulling out is because this show is, if y'all didn't know, the 250th birthday of America is this year. And this festival is having a bunch of, no, that's not right. This festival is having getting a bunch of backlash because they're saying that they support it. Now, granted, you know, we're all happy and proud to be in America, but people often tend to forget how horrible this was for everybody who didn't look like Mr. Kid Rock. So, what did I do with it? Oh, it's in my thing. Hold on, y'all. Oh, no, here it is right here. One of these is it. One of these got to be it. So people tend to often forget that. Apparently, Ludacris was actually on this festival. Now, his representation claims that they had no idea that he was on this festival and that somebody did it without his permission, and so they just got out of it. But several artists are pulling out of this festival because they don't want to be associated with what it's about. And I think that that's a W for these people that are actually pulling out, Apparently, Kid Rock is a huge MAGA supporter, and everybody knows with everything that's going on right now, those people aren't having the greatest time right now. And ever since Daddy Trump got into office, um, anybody associated with the red hat, at least in the broader stance of society, has been outcasted, disregarded, and never to be heard from again. Uh, See, right. So you said Ludacris was called a sellout on social media, right? Right. After supporting this, I think it's mad crazy that social media has this much. There we go. There we go. We back in here. Anyway, my bad. So Ludacris was called a sellout. I think it's crazy that they are able to, that social media is able to make people change. And I say I hate it. In situations like this, it's cool, I guess, right? If they are trying to get this canceled for whatever reason, they feel like that they're getting it canceled, then fine. People who shouldn't be in certain positions, or shouldn't be having certain things happen, or people who think that they have gotten away with heinous crimes or things like that. Yes, social media has done an excellent job at getting people their just desserts, right? The R. Kelly situation doesn't happen without social media, right? The Epstein situation, which a lot of people are still calling for certain things to be revealed, doesn't happen without social media, right? Social media pushes the boundaries of what can and cannot be called out. Social media has failed to counsel people in a lot of situations, but in this case, like you said, with Ludacris, social media called him out, and I believe with a lot of these other people, social media has called out people as well. There was a group, I believe they were called Shinedown, who said that they felt like they couldn't be a part of this festival, specifically in this area, because they felt as if it was causing a divide, and their music was utilized to bring people together. And this isn't something that they wanted to be a part of. And whatever, that's your own reasoning. But people behind the scenes, without any formal explanation, are pulling out of this festival. And one can only think because the public perception of it doesn't look that great. Now, if people actually cared about their public image a bit more, maybe things wouldn't be so bad. But because people feel like they are powerful enough to get past that public perception, because they want to do what they want to do regardless of what is going on, then at that point, public perception, or the way that social media kind of calls them out, does not matter to them in the slightest at all. Look at Kanye West right now, right? Been banned from the Grammys, and he continued to act the way that he's acted in the past. My brother tells me that he can't continue to give Kanye West a pass. I think it's because he's never been a true fan to begin with, but he said he can't continue to give Kanye West a pass for the way that he's acting. So fast forward, when we talk about this concert or this festival or whatever the case is, you can't just keep going and acting as if everything is okay and acting as if this isn't a bad look when it clearly is. And so the people who were running the show in South Carolina came out and just decided to cancel the show. I don't know if it's because it was too close and they just felt like they wasn't going to be able to fill these spots fast enough. I mean, it's hella artists on there, so I'm sure if somebody just got a longer set, nobody would really care. But when it comes to the fact of people calling this out, saying that it's leaning a little bit too far, MAGA, yeah, you should probably reconsider some things. I understand that we all want to be a man of our own convictions. I understand that we all want to be a person who follows their own code and is true to their code. But sometimes the masses are right. Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes the masses are right. And it would behoove you to pay attention to this and kind of get on the right side of that. Because what does this do later on? It can have an adverse effect where it actually goes against you and people start to fall off, much like my brother when it comes to Kanye. People start to fall off because they just can't get with it no more. People's own values and people's own codes and people's own, traditions or what have you, what those things are. They guide them. Their own moral compasses guide them, and a lot of times it guides them away from what you're doing and what you have going on. Now, to me, this is a very interesting thing on to what's happening. Like I said, with Ludacris, he claims his team didn't know about him being on there, so he pulled out. But Ludacris was going to be a part of it because I believe Ludacris had did something about with them just the year prior or a couple of years prior. But again, social media gets loud enough, and then you have to really think about it. You got to think about the business aspect of it. What am I going to do with this? Am I going to crumble under the pressure and not do what I want to do? Or am I going to listen to the voices and be like, you know what? They might have a point. I believe that all things deserve a consideration. I believe that all things at least deserve something where you second guess it. But when we're talking about actually just changing your code based off of the opinion of others, I don't know if I can rock with that. I believe that is, you're not truly being yourself. If it is truly a conviction that you felt after thinking about what they said, then yeah, all right, let's go with that. But if it is a situation where you're truly just doing it because you don't want to look away, then at that point, I don't know if I could truly rock with that. While Kanye has done some asinine shit, like while he's done some things that I don't think can be forgiven in some aspects, one thing I can say about Kanye is that he's true to his code. He's true to his compass. He is a man that is one with himself and one with his decisions. Now you can say, well, he did write an apology letter to the Grammys. Okay, yes, he did. But you got to think about what the Grammys are. The Grammys are, the funny thing is he doesn't care about anyone giving him a stamp of approval. He doesn't need it, according to himself. I mean, this is somebody who went head to head with one of the biggest shoe companies in the world, in Adidas, and essentially won, right? It was a lot of product that they could not move because he wasn't the face of it anymore. And they lost hella money splitting ways with him because of wait for it, the public perception of Kanye. So they didn't want to be associated with it. But he went head to head and essentially won in that. I've seen him do this multiple times and get out of a lot of places. James Harden reminds me a lot of Kanye. Y'all can put those two together however y'all want to. But he does these things, and he goes against the grain. He just does not care. But for him to write an apology letter to the Grammys, I get it. This is, regardless of what the fans say, regardless of what your mama say, regardless of what your peers say, this is the academy that sometimes otherwise don't know shit about hip hop. Look at how Cher mispronounced, or look how Cher said that Luther Vandross was winning a Grammy instead of Kendrick Lamar. The Grammys in general are disconnected from hip hop. Now, how do we change that? People get on the board, people get on the voting committee, and they actually vote. You have to be really a hip hop head. You have to be a real, you have to be a real, you need to know hip hop. They should have, maybe they do have X artists on there. Maybe they just be hating. Hip hop is one of the few genres of music where haterade or haterism is alive and well. It is, okay? So, with that being said, I mean, maybe it is people in there hating on other people and not giving the just dues and not doing a lot of that. But Kanye still wants the approval. That is why he wrote an apology letter. Why? Because the ultimate stamp of approval for your music is the Grammys. I don't know if Will Smith, did he write an apology? I think he did write an apology letter to the Oscars. Will Smith ain't never got to go to the Oscars again and he'd be okay. But the reason he wrote an apology letter, one, is because he probably felt embarrassed, but two, because the Oscars are the ultimate stamp of approval. You can go to the Sundance Music Festival. You can go to the Daytime Emmys, which actually for daytime TV, the Daytime Emmys is the ultimate stamp of approval. But you can go to a lot of these other things, and it's not the Oscars. In Kanye's case, you can go to the BET Awards, you can go to the MTV Awards, you can go to the Billboard Music Awards, but none of them are the Grammys. Why does Nicki act the way she does? And it's always around Grammy time. Because she knows that while she's the queen and while she doesn't need anybody's approval, she would still love a Grammy. Because that is the ultimate stamp of approval. So, when we go into speaking about Kid Rock and he has everything going on, I mean, maybe he should look at this and kind of stop. Will it be a shot to his money or his pockets? I'm sure it will be. But when you have a lot of people pulling out and they're saying it's because of your association and they're saying because it's no longer looking like a festival, it's no longer looking like a celebration of country music, it's looking like a celebration of MAGA, it's looking like a celebration of Team Trump, it's looking like a celebration for the Trump administration. And Kid Rock has been very outspoken about his stance and his support of those. I mean, you gotta look at it and be like, hey, is this really what I want? Maybe you don't care. But if the Dixie Chicks can rebrand themselves after nearly 20 or 30 years to just the Chicks, just because they don't want to be associated with the Confederacy and everything that's going on and things that have shown light to what that whole Southern pride and the good old boys is all about, then you, Mr. Rock, can make that same decision to kind of think about, just give it a second thought. You know, a lot of people always be like, I didn't give it a second thought. This is a situation where you probably should give it a second thought. Give it a second thought, think about it, and come back and see what's going on. Because, again, ultimately, it is going to cost a hell of a lot more money when they just stop showing up than it would if you were to just take a second opinion on this. Take a second guess and get this together, man. Are they wrong for pulling out? Again, peer pressure. I mean, if you want the money, go ahead and do it. Hell, get on stage and denounce MAGAnism for, if it's really that big of a deal for you. Like I said, I like those people who cannot fold under the peer pressure and truly be them and be a man of their own convictions. But I think that they got a good point of not wanting to be associated with this. Country music within itself is already considered in a lot of people's eyes as foundationally racist. Like, yes, there were black people that started country music and grew up and really pushed that genre. But for the most part, it is foundationally racist, and these things come with doing that music. Sure, you could say that violence comes with doing rap, and I'll point you to CHH. But in that, you can stereotype it. I'm okay with that because I'm doing that here. But foundationally racist, man. You know what I'm talking You know what I'm talking about. But yeah, foundationally racist. But you can just take a second look, man.